Hey Dwight. Hey Johnny and Joy. Hello Wendy. Yes, here we are. April is Guitar Month. And I'm going to go live every night in April to celebrate guitar and International Guitar Month. Bonnie Stubbs, hello! All right. So, happy Thursday to everyone. Thanks for stopping by my channels, wherever you may be viewing from. Greatly appreciated. And we're here to talk about the guitar. This awesome instrument made of wood and steel, stainless steel on these frets. Yeah, so hopefully everybody's doing good. Let's see who's hanging out. Been out of commission for about a year. Yeah, sorry to hear that. Oh, yeah. Kelly J. Cool. Hello. Hello, hello. Let's go through some of the highs. So we have Dwight Bailey and Johnny and Joy. Good grief. Would help if I slow down and read what's actually there. Johnny and Joy. Hello. Thanks for being here. Bonnie Stubbs. Hello. And who else is hanging? Who else is hanging? Of course, Wendy on all three platforms. She's awesome. What's Cooking Wendy over on YouTube. Wendy on Facebook and Twitch. Hopefully we get some Twitch people. If you have a Twitch account, please go over to my Twitch account. Just search Vince Janella and chat it up over there for a bit. I am working on becoming an affiliate, which doesn't cost you anything, but I can actually make some money by streaming. Yeah. So, if you don't have an account, go over there and sign up. And I'm not just saying it to get you over there to sign up. It has been proven by people who have been watching me, it sounds better over there. And it looks better over there. Maybe except to the YouTube people. But all you Facebookers, definitely better quality over there. Anyhow. So Guitar Month. April is Guitar Month. And what did I have? Where did it go? Where did it go? I had some fun facts that were kind of goofy about the guitar. Like, the modern guitar has been around for over 500 years. And where was it? I think it was Mesopotamia. Yeah. In like 2000 BC, something like that. They had the first guitar-like instrument. And it's a bowl harp. And I believe it's on display in one of the, I think in Egypt. I forget where that statistic went. I'm just doing that from memory. But it was pretty cool. But yeah, I looked up some guitar statistics to talk about this evening. The first capo. So does anybody know what a capo is in the first place? Capos are these things that people refer to them as cheaters, okay? And basically what happens is, and I have one right here. This one my dad gave me. It's a really cool capo. I hate capos, to be honest with you. But this one is very special, not just because my dad gave it to me, but because it has a radius adjustment. So this thing pops out. And that's the capo part, the rubber part that clamps down onto the guitar. And it also is very well built and doesn't scratch. It has padding all over this thing so you don't scratch it. It has a really nice inlay in it too. Look at that. It's by a company called Thalia. Check them out. So my dad bought this for me as a gift. And I figured, let's talk about capos because the first capo... man, where did that one go? The first capo was invented by a luthier named Giovanni Battista Donde in the 17th century. And this capo is really cool, again, because it has this thing on here that is adjustable. Let's get it against the white guitar. I'm trying here. I'm trying, people. It's all backwards. All right, so you can see this right here, this part. This part comes out. I'm not going to take it out, but it has adjustments for Strat, for Les Paul, for classical guitar, for all different guitar neck radiuses. So they figured it out, and it stays in tune, because that's my big complaint about most capos is when you put them on, they go out of tune, but this guy figured it out. So it has this cool little lever. You just squeeze it and pop it in there. And what it does is it allows people who only know a handful of chords to be able to play those handful of chords somewhere else. So, for example, let's get to a clean sound because we don't need a capoed distortion sound. And we'll just take the regular chords in first position like G. And again, it would help if I turn myself up. And then a D, and then C. Except in this area with a capo at the 3rd fret, this becomes B flat, and F, and E flat. Alright, so that's what the deal is with capos, and a lot of people don't know the proper names, so then when you're live, this is what happens. Someone will slap the capo on, and then they'll go G, D, and E flat. Or sorry, that's half right and half wrong. They'll say G, D, and C, and then the rest of the band has to figure out, well, we don't have capos, so that doesn't help. So then we have to ask them what fret they're on, or do they know the actual notes? And 98% of the time, actually, I'll go with 99.9% of the time, they don't know the actual notes, hence why they have the capo. And then we have to figure out what it sounds like and go, okay, well, we'll play B flat over here. And then an F chord was next, so we'd have to play an F. And then the last chord was an E flat. So the band has to figure out what the artist is doing that is using the capo. Yeah, so those are the same chords. So G is not a G with this capo on, it's B flat. And then, oops, I think I hit it because it sounds out of tune. And then that's, like I said before, that's F, and then this is E flat. So you would play B flat, regular chord, F, and E flat. Yeah, so capos are cool for people who want to get around quicker without learning the notes. But then what winds up happening is when you get into a band situation with other musicians and you try and tell them what you're doing, it's a little bit of a learning curve. So it's good to know the notes. Yes, Jim. Especially hard on the drummer. Especially when the drummer, like Jim, plays bass and guitar. He's like, what are the notes? What are they doing? Oh, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, capos are good. They get the job done, so it's important. But I just thought that was cool that we had a little statistic about the guy who invented the first capo back in, what was that I said? 17, where did it go? Not very organized with all my statistics. It was in the 17th century. There's no actual date. There you have it. All right. Capos. Also, I knew this. It came up as one of the oddball statistics, but I don't know how many people know this term, but people used to call guitar strings gut strings. And some people thought that was abbreviated for guitar, G-U-I-T, just leave out the I and call it gut. But literally, back in the day when, guitars and lutes and everything were, there were no guitars. It was basically like a lute type thing that looked and morphed into a guitar. They used, okay, it's after dinner time, so no one should get grossed out and need to vomit, but they used the guts of animals. Like, for real. That's how they made the strings, which is insane. And I knew this for a long time, but it came up as a odd guitar statistic, and I thought, oh, that's definitely something to talk about. So they used animal intestines for the strings, and they called them gut strings, and then that kind of spilled over into the modern world when guitars back in the 30s started to be played, and then they went over to steel strings. Yeah, thank goodness. Who the heck wants to play intestines? That's nasty. Yeah. Yes. All right. So what did Dwight have to say about the capo? Yeah, I use a capo a lot when I play in church. Yeah, it's just it's a tool. It's an easy tool to get around and just play stuff without having to deal with learning all the notes and yeah. It's easier to even just tell other guitar players, yeah, just capo the 3rd fret and play your G, C, and D chords, and we're all good. Yeah. Let's see. Johnny and Joy used it occasionally. All right. Let's see who else. Oh, cool. The pastor's the drummer. That's nice. It's a rockin' pastor. Literally. What do we have here? Whoop. I thought they used cat whiskers like in Tom and Jerry. Doink, doink, doink. Yep. That was such a cool episode. Look that up, people. Tom and Jerry, when he breaks his guitar string. It's hilarious. Oh, no. Never capo a bass. It won't work. Oh yeah. Um, Probably break the capo before anything happens to the bass. It won't even stay in tune. All right. So let's see. Let's see. Where did that one go? So Gibson, little guitar fact or whatever, fun fact. Gibson designed the Flying V, and they wanted it to be basically like a futuristic guitar, and that was like their whole thought process on it, was like this futuristic guitar of the 50s. So imagine that. I mean, when you think about guitar back then, that totally looked futuristic. I mean, it basically was acoustic guitars, large body guitars. So there were very few electrics. And then Gibson comes out with the Flying V. But yeah, the first electric guitar that was ever built was, what year was it? 1930, I think. And it was a joint venture, actually, with, where is it here? Rickenbacker. That was it. Rickenbacker was the first one that made an electric guitar. I know Gibson Les Paul gets the credit usually because of Les Paul, and a lot of people think Les invented the guitar or the electric guitar, but there are a lot of things that were left out. So basically, the first electric guitar ever was made by Adolf Rickenbacker. Adolf was his first name, and what was the second one? Was definitely Fender with the Telecaster. So some interesting factoids for people that always thought Les was the inventor of the electric guitar. He was late to the game because, unfortunately, Gibson thought he was nuts and sent him packing, which is sad. So, oh well, that's what happens. He went to Fender. I think it was him and Leo Fender started kicking around ideas of electric guitars, but then I forget what happened exactly, but Les wanted his own name on the top, so he went to Gibson, and Gibson just thought it was a crazy idea. They're like, no one's going to play it. Everybody's into like strumming on the back of a horse. You're crazy. And sent him on his way. And then like that same year, which was 1931 or 51 or 52, the Telecaster came out and beat Les to the punch. Yeah. Oh well, what can you do? Still, he got all the accolades and all the fame. So, but yes, pretty much everything is based off of the Gibson Les Paul and the Fender Strat. The Strat came out years later, after the Tele, and then, those were for the guys that didn't want quite the heavy guitar, and they also had the nice beveled areas and this flat side for your arm, where the Les Paul was very bulky. So, they wanted to kind of make the Strat more like a sports car, comfortable, that kind of thing, where the Les Paul was like this more of a block of wood. Even though it had the wonderful curves, it still is, unfortunately, a little rough to sit with. It digs into your leg, and it digs into your side and your chest. But Fender figured that all out, even though I'm holding an Ibanez, with those adjustments, making the sides a little more round, and this piece here for your arm to be comfortable. Yeah. So let's see who else is hanging out. We have a good little crowd here. I don't see anybody on Twitch. Again, if you have a Twitch account, come on by, say hello, hang out for a little while. I don't know if I'm going to stay on as long as I have been. They've been really fun. And they've been picking up some momentum, but I don't know if I have the time tonight, so we'll see how it goes. But any questions, any questions on scales or guitar stuff, throw them in the chat. Put a Q, capital Q, with a colon, please, because I could see them better than just with the chat going back and forth. I know people are talking to each other, so I can never distinguish if it's for me, but the giant Q will set you apart. A little coffee for the evening. And hey, Janice, let's pop you up there. Hello, Janice, and hello, Princess LDG. Hello, hello. Let's see. Where did you go? There you are. Hello, all. Hello. You're awake. Whoops. I'm a pianist. I know nothing about guitars. That's cool. Janice writes, I'm awake. Cool. Yes. Let's see. Well, here. Your middle C on piano is this for me. So that's middle C on piano, and that's the 5th string, 3rd fret. Or I can go to the 6th string, 8th fret, and that's my middle C. And that usually confuses the heck out of piano players because we have duplicate and up to 3 of the same pitch when it's written on music paper. So if you were to look at the staff, so middle C would have this, and this would also be our middle C, so we can play it in 2 spots. The E directly above that middle C, I have 3 of those. So I have 3 of the same exact pitch. So E at 12, then E at 7, and E at 2. And those are all the same written the same way on music paper as the E just above the middle C. So it's a difficult instrument to get down, the guitar, because of these duplicate and triplicate notes, and it drives people nuts. So you could play things in 3 spots. So I could play an E major scale here. Same pitch, I could play it here. I could play it here. So all written the same way on music paper. And that's usually the biggest hang up that, say, like pianists, when they come over and want to learn guitar, they're like, what? Why are there so many of the same notes? And it just drives people crazy that know music already. When you're just learning guitar and you don't know, it's just like, oh, well, that's normal. We have 3 E's of the same pitch. Whatever, yes. It does get a little wacky. Well, that's cool. We have a piano player in the audience. I like when people talk and chat up. Last night I had a bunch of people on and only a handful of chatters. So I encourage you, if you're just hanging out in the background, don't be shy. Say hello. Everybody's super friendly. I've been streaming once a week every Monday since 2018. And I know that there's a lot of people who have made friends on my show, and I've made friends from being on other people's show. So it's pretty cool, So if you're just hanging out in the background and you're afraid to say anything, say hi. Everybody's super cool. Trust me. It's all good. All right. Johnny says, I have no idea what I'm playing. I just play by ear. That's also good. That is fine. As long as you're playing by ear and you know what you're doing, it's all good. My grandmother played piano by ear, and she was awesome. She would just hear a song once and be able to play it back. And when I was a kid, she would play a little game with me on piano. I was like 2, maybe even younger. I just have memories, like foggy memories of this. But what she would do is she would sit me on the piano and make me face the opposite way, and then she would play something, and then tell me to turn around and play it back. So it started out as she would just play like one note, and then she'd say, "All right, find it," and I'd turn around and I'd go through a bunch, and then I'd get to it, and I'd go, "I think that was it," and she'd go, "Yep, that's it." And I was always good at finding the note. She would play it, and then I would find it, and there was no problem. And then it got to the point where she was playing stuff, and I would find it like on the first or second try. It was really quick. So by the time I started playing guitar, just that alone gave me such a good ear. So I could play by ear. You could put a song on for me, and I'll play it, right back to you. If Jim Schultz is still here, one of our first gigs ever, he had me as a sub in one of his cover bands years ago, and the band was worried because I had no time to rehearse. I just said, "Give me a set list and just tell me what the key we're in, or if the keyboard player is starting the song, don't even worry about it. All I have to do is hear the chord progression once." And pretty much that's how we got through the first gig and the last 30 years of playing live. Right, Jim? I wonder if he's still here. Let's see. I'm missing a couple people. Terry. Hello, Terry. How you doing tonight? Thanks for dropping in. I'm going to make people sick and tired of me because I'm going to go live every night in April because it's Guitar Month. International Guitar Month. So by May 1st, you'll be sick of me. Excuse me. Let's see. Who else? Oh, hey. Jamie Giaconetta checking in on the YouTube channel. Tools, Cars, and Guitars. I like it. I'm going to have to write down all of you people that have other names because I'm never going to remember that. Even if you come back tomorrow, I'm never going to remember that's you, Jamie. Oh, man. I'm terrible like that. Let's see who else is hanging out. Vince still has that piano too. I do. It's up in our living room right now. It kills me to have to get rid of it, but I think eventually that's gonna have to go. But it's cool for now. I have the piano, and it's a spin-it type piano. Before I get rid of it, I will definitely do like a actual YouTube video of me sitting at the piano, and I actually found a clip somewhere. I have it saved of my grandmother playing and singing piano, and it's so short because back then video cameras were few and far between, and I can't remember what relative had the video camera, but they only took it's probably under a minute, which is really annoying, of my grandmother playing. I wish they got a whole song. So that would be really cool to, convert it off of VHS and make it digital and show the piano. And it's so out of tune now. It's so old it can't be tuned. But, I had my beginning music theory and fun on piano. She would play and sing. It was very cool. Let's see. So where's everybody from? I know Jamie moved. Oh, and then poof, he just put it in where he moved to. I couldn't remember. Wendy and I were talking about it. Actually, you know what? I don't know if it was Wendy and I. It was also my mom, too. My mom said last night when she was watching, she recognized the name. She's like, Jamie Giaconetta, I know him. And I said, yeah, he was the guy who came over and helped you fix some stuff in the house. So she remembered you. So my mom says hi. Hello, Jamie. All the way in Vegas. He's in... hello. All right. So Princess LDG is from Ohio. And Johnny and Joy are in Phoenix. Cool. Yeah, man, if you're out here, you got to text me and let me know. Come by and visit. Check out the new studio. The guitars have multiplied since you've last been a student and hung out with me. Oh man, I will. And if she's here, that's Jamie Jacanetta saying hello to you, Mom, if you're here. She doesn't like to comment much, so and it's a little late tonight that I went on, so she'll see this tomorrow on the replay. Um, let's see who else is hanging. Dwight is in Mississippi. That's right. Yeah. Hey Tim. Tim Thomas, what's up? I love that picture of Dimebag and Edward. That is so cool. Hey, my mom is here. Look at that. See that? Mom, we were talking about Jamie Jacanetta earlier, and he is Tools, Cars, and Guitars on YouTube over there. See that? She's here. She's hanging out. Awesome. So, I don't know if you heard that part, but I have a clip of Grandma playing guitar somewhere. I have to get that and convert it and make a video of me at the piano, just playing some scales and explaining how Grandma gave me my first ear training, which was really cool. Yeah, let's see. Am I missing anything? No, I think I got everybody. Cool. All right. Surfer Boy, what's up? I have an old Piano Spin-It 2. Got it for free. I had to pay movers to bring it into the house. Yeah, it weighs a ton, and if you don't get movers to move it and you try and move it yourself, you could damage it, and then if anything happens to the soundboard, it's done. You can't tune it. It really stinks. So yeah, when I had it moved from my grandmother's house to my house, I had movers, and thankfully I worked at a music store. We were one of the largest piano stores in the tri-state area, actually. So the movers were really good friends of mine, and I think they charged me like $50 or something ridiculous to move it. But this time, when I had to move it from my house to our house here, yeah, he was still generous. He still hooked me up, but it wasn't $50. And it was the same guy from 20 years ago. They have a piano moving service in North Jersey. If you need anybody, you could always message me. I don't have his card and phone number here, but handy. But if anybody needs a piano mover, I have one. He's great. So yeah, he actually went the extra mile, which I'm not going to talk about because he asked me not to, but I'll say it anyway because he's not going to do it for anybody else. But he helped me move some other things that weren't pianos. So he is a great guy, really good dude. So let's see, anybody else new? No, okay, but Dwight says hello to Mom, so we'll throw that up there. There we go. Yeah. All right, so what other wacky statistics and or weird little guitar things did I find? Where is it? Oh, okay, so let's see. Now, I think this has been broken since this was posted, but I gotta check with Guitar World or Guitar for the Practicing Musician. One of those guitar mags had it, but the record for the longest guitar solo ever played by a guitar player, of course, his name was David DiDonato. David DiDonato, and he did this in 2014. He played for 24 hours and 55 minutes. And he broke the previous record, which was 24 hours and 18 minutes. And the guy who held that was Michelangelo Badio. You got to check this guy out, Michelangelo. He has a double neck guitar, but this way. So he has a neck coming this way, normal, and a neck coming out this way, and he harmonizes with himself. And this guy played for 24 hours and 18 minutes, and the new guy beat him and played for 24 hours and 55 minutes. The only thing you were allowed to do, which is legal according to the Guinness World Book of World Records folks, is that you are allowed to take short breaks every few hours to rest and maybe have some water and go to the bathroom. But literally, it's under 5 minutes. If you're not back, you lose. So, and it's always like every few hours. Yeah. Oh, hey, Gorav. I think that's how you say your name. I hope I'm not saying it wrong. But thanks for being here. He's in India, correct? You're in India. What's your thoughts on Axe-Fx and Line 6 Helix? Did you notice differences in terms of dynamics and response? Yes. So I had, which one did I have? I can't remember, but I had a Helix for a while, and I also had a Line 6, it was a rack, and that thing was great too. But the thing that you can't do with, or well, maybe they fixed it. I have not played a Line 6 product in 10 or 12 years at least. Yeah, well, actually 13. I think I started using Axe-Fx either in 2010 or 2012. I don't remember, but we'll go with 10, 13 years. I haven't touched anything else. But one thing that drove me nuts about the Line 6 was if you brought your volume down. So now here, check this out. I'm going to show you that we are in a distorted, all right, distorted preset, gain out the wazoo here. All right, so lots of gain. All I have to do is bring my volume down. And it's super clean. And if I move the pickup over, it's even better. So it's very responsive, and I actually do that with a pedal on the floor. Let's see if I can show you that. Let's get over to here, and I believe this is pedal view. I believe that's absolutely nothing. There we go. So I have this pedal over here that is on an axis. It pivots back and forth. Okay, so I use my volume all the way up, keep it up, and I use the pedal to lower the gain. All right, so now I just use that with my foot, and it cleans it up nicely. And then I can bring it over. And then I can just, again with the foot, just bring it over. So it's definitely more realistic, like a tube amp where you can lower your volume on the guitar and it reacts like it was plugged into a head or a combo amplifier. Well, there is the comment just popped up, basically saying just what I just said. Yes, exactly. Line 6 amp modelers feel very unrealistic. I don't know why it's like that, but it's very uncomfortable to play. Yes. Well, not to put down Line 6 because a lot of people use them, okay? But it's not, I don't want to say it the way it's going to sound, but I have no other words for it. It's not at a professional level as far as the programming goes because they're trying to get it out to the masses at a very cheap price. Whereas Fractal is not compromising, and that's why Fractal costs more money. So, it's like anything else. Unfortunately, you get what you pay for, sort of. But what winds up happening is you're going to give up certain things. So because of the way it's designed, the Fractal stuff reacts more like a tube amp than all the other modelers because of first of all, the guy who runs the company is always constantly redesigning every other, I don't want to sound like it's because people get a little like, oh my, that's often. But almost once a month, there's an update that improves the amps, changes the sound. You don't have to do them, but I do them because every time they do an update, it's improving something, and it's usually once a year where it improves it incredibly. Like, you can feel it, you can hear it, and that's the big thing is you could feel it. The feel between every other modeler and the Axe-Fx stuff is completely different. You can sit there and try and tweak it. I did for a while because I really wanted the Line 6 stuff to work, but it just wasn't. I couldn't get the sound out of it at all, and it drove me batty. So I finally sold it all and got myself the Axe-Fx. Let's see, I saw a couple of things go by. Vince, do you have a favorite key you like to play in? For some reason, I have been enjoying the key of A. I've recently got really into the key of D, which is an odd key, I think, for some people. But I love the key of D. My other favorite key was G. And I think it's because of the two chords. So you have, you got your G chord. I mean, what's cooler than a G? Well, maybe the other cooler chord is an A. So yeah, right there, all three chords, my favorite chords. G, A, and D. So I can understand why A. A is a great key, but I like A a lot too. I like the F sharp minor bit that you could play along with it. So. So it's a fun key. A is definitely fun, but D has been my go-to lately for some reason. I'm gonna have to break out of it because I think it's getting annoying now. Let's see. There should be no bathroom breaks. Yeah. You know what's crazy? So a couple of bands that I've played with, there have been times where you just can't take a break. So, there are no bathroom breaks for real. So maybe they should limit the bathroom breaks to a certain amount of hours after, as if it was a gig. I don't know. But yeah, I read the criteria that you had to meet for that, and I thought, wow, that's almost doable, like for anybody who's got the time to play for more than 24 hours. I'm sure it's hard, but they let them break like every hour for 5 minutes, and then I think it's like every 3 hours for 10, something like that. So it's interesting. Anyway, let's see. Is that pedal made specifically for Fractal? Yes. So the box back there, that's the Axe-Fx 3. And let me get onto this over here. And this guy down here is the foot controller for it. And that's the FC12. This guy right here. The one that says Air Step right above it. I was using that to control my camera angles when I was broadcasting from that side of the room to switch the camera angles because I didn't have the stuff programmed into the computer like I do now. And I'm playing and would want to switch camera angles, so I would use that Air Step to switch. So I would just, whatever I was looking to do, whatever camera angle, 1 through 5. And then those other little 2 switches here don't come with the Fractal. Those are extra, and I've programmed them to do stuff as well. The Axe-Fx is super versatile, and it has other hookups in the back where you can hook up your own other additional, I should say, not other, but additional expression pedals. Yeah. Tim loves his Axe-Fx 3. Awesome. Yeah, it's the greatest, honestly. I've used everything. I've had Digitech, I've had Line 6, I've had Boss, I've had TC Electronics. All right. Take care, Janice. I got to go and mod a stream. Cool. Thanks for being here. Bye. But yeah, the Axe-Fx 3 is definitely awesome. You tried Axe-Fx 2 a few years ago, but that thing was still 10 times ahead of... Yes. I actually still haven't sold my Axe-Fx 2. It's still over on the other side of the room. I have like a collection of Fractal stuff like I do with Mac computers that get outdated. So I have the Axe-Fx 2. I have the AX8. That's another great one. But what I like the most out of the newer stuff, the Axe-Fx 3, the FM9, and the FM3, is that whatever you build on, let's say the FM3, you could port it over to the 9 and the Axe-Fx 3 and improve on it. Whereas if you built something on the AX8, it wasn't really that seamless to get it over to the Axe-Fx 3. It took a lot of work. So that was really annoying. And I'm glad that they straightened that out and made it universal. So if I program something on the Axe-Fx 3, I just have to watch the CPU and make sure I don't push it too far. And then I can actually just load that right into my FM3 and have the same sounds that I do on the big unit on a little portable unit that I can take on a plane or throw, in a gig bag, literally, and jump on stage and not have to bring a whole bunch of stuff. You can get a good deal on the FM3 these days on Reverb. Yes. Yeah, people have been selling them because the FM9 came out and a lot of people really wanted the FM9. Then they came out with the FM9 Turbo, which is a lot more juice than the 9 and way more juice than the 3. And of course, I say juice, I mean CPU power. Let's see. Hey, Dave Da Silva. What's going on? Good to see you. Thanks for stopping by. Hope everybody's good. Little sip of coffee. Yeah, so this is more of a hang and a talk show compared to my Monday Night Lives for anybody who's just tuning in and wondering why I'm not playing. I'm going to play. I'll play a little bit. But basically what's up is it's Guitar Month. April is Guitar Month, and for years I've been wanting to do a video a day on my YouTube channel. And a memory recently came up that I said, I'm going to go live every day in April. Not go live, sorry, I said that the other night too when I was explaining this. I'm going to post a video to my YouTube channel every day in April. And the problem with doing YouTube videos is they take a long time. So I started to do that like the second week of like March. And then I realized how much work it was. And I was like, ooh, I shouldn't have said what I was going to do because I never did it. But I figured, you know what? Just let's go live every day. That's a lot easier. It's not set in stone. I don't have to have an idea that I have to stick with. I mean, I could wing it, or I can, I pulled up some guitar statistics and little fun factoids. So happy Guitar Month, yes. So that's what we're doing here. We're just talking about gear and guitars and silly things like the world's record of, playing guitar for the longest, guitar solo. Here's one. The largest guitar pedal board consists over 300 pedals and weighs 3,000 pounds. That's just nuts. And before we were talking about, Gibson claiming they were, Les was the first guy to invent the electric guitar. But the first commercially successful solid body electric was made and invented by Leo Fender, and it was the Fender Telecaster in 1951. So, the Les Paul did not come out until 1954, I believe. I have to look that up. But that's from what I remember. So I have to look that up to double, triple check myself. But I'm actually going to do some actual real videos where I explain this stuff, because I have like a ton of notes and things like that from hanging out with Lou and going to the museum and checking out all the Gibson or Les Paul's personal guitars and stuff. So I have a lot of notes from Lou and conversations that I recorded on my phone with Lou. At the end of the night when I would, some of you probably, who the hell is Lou? So let's back up. Lou Palo was a good friend of mine. He was the rhythm guitar player for Les Paul, the actual guy. And I played with Lou every week, sometimes 2 or 3 times a week, for 10 years. So I got to hear a lot of great stories, and a lot of the stuff he would tell me, just like who they brought up at the Iridium. I mean, he played with everybody. So the first time I went to play with him, I was very intimidated because I looked him up online and I was like, oh my God, he's played with Jeff Beck, he's played with Steve Vai, he's played with Al Di Meola, he played with, you name a guitar player and he played with him, all right? Everybody. Slash. Just everyone. Lou played with everyone. And I'm going to sit in with him, and I was just like, what am I going to play for this guy? So anyway, Lou and I became good friends. And yeah, see, Jamie got to meet him. He's a great guy and a great player, yeah. Yep. A lot of fun. But Lou would tell me all of these different stories about Les and the recordings, how Les invented the sound on sound. So really crazy stuff. Really awesome stuff. Let's see. I see there's some stuff going on the chat. So what do we have here? We have... Whoop! It moved. Okay. Well, we'll go with this. Vince, are you going to go for the 35th anniversary Pia Swirl that's going to be released at NAMM? Oh my God. I wasn't planning on it. look at that. Wendy's like, what? Yeah, I did not know about that until you brought it up there, Tim. And that might be a problem this year. I don't know. Oh, man. They're coming out with all these great guitars. I love this guitar, by the way. This one's my wife's. I have the black one. The black one is mine. Let's see. Now, what I tried to do was I tried to grab Gorov's. Don't move. There we go. Okay. Is the FM9 Turbo available everywhere now? You know, I don't know, and it's really tough for all you guys outside of America, especially with the whole supply chain issue. I don't know. And I guess the best thing you can do is, like I always tell you, is just email Fractal directly and ask them if there's a supplier yet in your part of the world. I know, finally, I don't know if you can use these guys, but if you can, check out G66. They now have Fractal products. Don't quote me on this, but I think I am right. So they have Fractal products that have no extra import duty charges or taxes. G66. Provided you're in their scope of sales. And they are supposedly the overseas dealer. G66. So if anybody knows differently, maybe Tim knows. But yeah, G66.com, I believe it is. Check them out. Let's see, you had another question. Question, Axe-Fx 3, FM9, FM3, do all three units sound and feel the same if made the same? Yes, they do. Sometimes the 3 is a little behind because they always try and get everything up and running on the same firmware, so that way everything does sound the same, but occasionally no. And then there was a second part to that question. I heard the rack sounds better than the smaller unit like FM3. I don't know how. Yes. Again, that's if they're not up to speed with the newest firmware updates. I will tell you this. The 3 will always sound great because it's easy for them to update that because it's got the largest CPU and it's easier to write code and software for that. Yeah. All right. Dave's got to run. Great seeing you too. And you have a great weekend as well. Thanks for stopping in. Definitely appreciate it. Let's see. Surfer Boy. Vince, do you use FR speaker or cabs with your Fractal? Yes. The 2 cabinets on the left and right, not the middle one. Those are FR, and those are the Tech 21 Deuce Deluxe amps. I don't use them as much anymore when I play out. Or I should say when I did play out. Right now I haven't played any real full gigs in like 3 years. I've played a few things here and there, but nothing with my cover band. But the cover band has a fantastic PA, and it was getting to the point where I was barely using those speakers because the PA was just so awesome. We had our own monitors. I think we had 2 15s and a horn on either side of the stage, along with floor monitors. So I didn't need any stage volume. It was pretty killer. So I just was going direct into the PA. I do usually bring at least one of those Tech 21s in case there's something up at a gig, or the club doesn't have, or I don't know the club and I'm not sure about whether the back line or the PA system is going to be up to my standards. But yes, those Deuce Deluxes are fantastic. They're a 112 and a horn. You could switch the horn on and off if you feel a tweeter rather, 112 and a tweeter. If it's too much high end, you could just shut and bypass the tweeter. It has a direct out from the back of the Tech 21 amp, so you can also just plug a direct line from that into the house. But what I do is the Axe-Fx 3 has 4 outputs, and I dedicate 2 outputs to those cabinets and another 2 outputs directly to front of house, so I could adjust the volume on those cabinets and not affect their mix. But one really cool feature about the Tech 21s is that if you turn up your amp or turn it down, the same level goes to front of house no matter what. So that's a really cool feature. Let's see. I missed some stuff here. Where is this? Okay, there it is. I have an 82 Gibson Les Paul Gold Top. Wow, 30th anniversary. Bought in 82 too. I was a kid, knew nothing about it. It just looked cool. Glad I have it. Yeah, that's great. I'm glad you have it and still have it. That's a cool guitar. Yes. Let's see. What else here? What's your high gain preference? How much gain do you use on the amp models and Tube Screamer for home studio or live? Okay, so basically what I'm doing, I could show you guys actually right on screen. Where are you? Wake up. Axe-Fx 3 edit. Open up. There it is. All right, so I use a lot of gain. I love liquidy sounding leads, so my lead tone has an awful lot of gain just on the amp, and I have a drive pedal in front of it too. And then I use the pedal on the floor to lower the volume there, so I could actually just go right to like a cleaner sound, and I'm still on my lead preset. So I haven't switched presets. I just lowered the gain with my foot. And I changed the pickup so I have a little less gain coming out of the guitar. But let's just move that to the neck. And now I can crank it again. And then again with the volume pedal. But real quick, I'll show you what's going on here. Hey, Jamie. Good night. You have a great weekend if I don't see you on live stream here. But I'll be back tomorrow. If you're back, awesome. Hope to see you. All right. But yeah, my gain situation, I'll show you, is what window? Number 6. Yeah, look at that. Got it right this time. All right, so over here is the amp, and the amp I'm using is the FAS Modern. It's their own Fractal Audio Systems amp. So that's this right here. Look at my gain. It's at 7.45. It's pretty cranked. You know, that's a lot of gain. And then I have the bright switch on, presence, you could see, is at 7. The depth is almost like a bottom end type thing. That's at 350. And a lot of these are close to stock, like right out of the box. I didn't really tweak too much because I kind of learned a while ago that if I go somewhere, I could bring my laptop with all my presets and borrow an Axe-Fx and and download my sounds into one instead of lugging my stuff somewhere. So I try not to tweak anything too far out. Also, in case I don't have a computer, I could just pull up, something and just turn a few things and boom, I'm where I need to be. But here's the other thing. Now here's the drive, and the drive is on, and I have it at 2.88, which gives it just enough sustain to kick it over the edge and give me that liquidy, long, sustained without a sustainer. So one thing about that, though, is you really have to make sure that you don't, hit things because it's noisy. You got to really be good with your technique, which you are, man. I've seen you play. So Gorav is a really good guitar player, people. Go check him out. He's got a YouTube channel, and he sounds awesome. I think the band he's in is called, don't tell me, Frozen? I think the band is called Frozen. Really good player. So, let's see. Woo, man, Fractal is phenomenal. I definitely need one. Have to save the bucks for it and sell my Helix. Yes. Yeah, make sure you lock one in first before you sell your Helix. I don't want you to be out of, something to play through. Make sure you lock one in and you know it's coming. And I would actually hang on to that Line 6 until you get it in your hands, because the way things have been with shipping and stuff, I bought a... man, this was so disappointing. For Christmas, I wanted to get myself a Plini signature Strandberg Bowden. And I found one used, and it was a done deal, and UPS, no, I'm not going to badmouth the wrong company, FedEx lost it on me. And it was in transit for almost 32 days. The guy finally messaged me when he got it back. And thankfully for him, it was in one piece. But it never showed up at my doorstep. It got lost. And then it got bounced around. I was following the tracking throughout the U.S. It was insane. The guy finally got it back. I think it was about 32 days after he sent it. So that was that. I just figured, you know what? It wasn't meant to be. I'm not going to ask him to ship it again. Done. End of story. Sadly. That guitar is cool. All right. Let's see. Thanks a ton, Vince. That means a lot. Yeah, you play great. So, I totally have no problem letting people know when they're awesome, So there you have it. Go check him out. He's real good. It's heavy stuff, so if you're into heavy stuff, but melodic, it's cool. Yeah. Surfer Boy, how long did it take you to really learn your way around the Axe-Fx 3? Big learning curve, I'm sure. Actually, no. I'll show you how easy it is. Where is it? 6, right? There we go. So think of this line like a bunch of pedals, and then you have an amp. All right, so the amp is right here. So all of these pedals are what you would put before your amp anyway. And then you have a cabinet. But the cool thing with the Axe-Fx is, even though the cabinet's here, I could put all of these effects that belong between the amp section and the output section. I could put them in between here if I want, but it was just easier to do it this way. So I just do it this way. So now after the cabinet, I have rotary, I have a panner. I have this enhance. Of course, I'm a nut and I need more effects, so I had to put another line to jump over to this row. And I put chorus, flange, delay, this multi-delay, the reverb. I have a looper, and then it goes out in stereo to those two cabinets and to my PA system and to you guys. So that's how that works. And then this input 3 is for my piezo side of my Parker Fly. So now the acoustic comes in through here, and then I drop it in over here by this delay and reverb, because really that's all you want on your acoustic anyway, if that. Like, I use the delay and the reverb for giant, spacious kind of stuff on the acoustic. And then I go to the looper. So that's how that all works. So basically what you're doing here is this is just like having a row of stomp boxes on the floor up until the front of your amp. And then after the amp, between the amp and the power section, are these other effects. And then you're out. And that's how it goes. So now check this out. I'll bring up the pedal board section. And when I step on one of the pedals on the floor, if you look, you could see that the pedals turned blue. I think that's pedal board would be 5. Well, you could see it there in the bottom corner, but I'll give you a better view. So they turned blue, and that's because I hit the effects button over here, right? So now we're in pedals. And what that does is now if I want the panner, well, first we'll shut the delay off, and we can shut the drive off. And now I can put the tremolo pan on, and now I have tremolo. You know, and that's like the old school. You know, so you got the tremolo panner. I could throw the rotary in there. And you can see all of this stuff lighting up, you know, on the X-Fx here. So if I shut that off, you see how it gets dark. And it has a little wavy line through it now. Flanger. You know, get your Van Halen on. Let's see, I have a couple of different pitches. I have pitch A. So we have this cool octave. You know, and again, if I lower the volume on the guitar, it cleans up. And then I believe I have a 5th on pitch B. Oh, I guess not. Yeah, I made it a half step down, and that's annoying, so we're going to change that back. I'm glad I did that because I did that to teach a student a song that was a half step down, and I don't want that. I need to put that back. So now I'll show you how to edit. We'll just go to the pitch block right over here, and I have these 4 channels of the pitch block. So right now we're in channel A, and that's up an octave. And when I press and hold the pedal on the floor, it takes me to channel B. Oops, it didn't move. All right, well, I don't know why it didn't move. But there it is. Oh, that's interesting. What is that doing? Oh, see? User error. See how it says pitch 2 here? I'm in the wrong block. Let's not mess this up. Okay. Over here, I have 2 pitch blocks in here, which you can't do with the 3, the FM3, the small guy. So this pitch block here is a virtual capo on pitch B, and I don't want that. I want that to be where is it? Which one do I want? We could do a couple of things, but I think what we'll do is we'll just do a regular old custom shift. Yeah, sure. All right, so no, because that's a scale. Forget that. That's too involved. We're just going to go with a regular old. So there's a lot of great stuff. This Crystal Echoes gives you all these, like, here, let's listen to it real quick. So it gives you like these different harmonies that go along with delays. It gets a little nuts. Probably not the best sound to use, but this is probably what I want right here. Quad chromatic. There you go. Now that's cool. Alright, so now we'll just actually bypass it because I don't need that on. So we're back to there. I'm going to bypass it and we're going to save it. Now it's back to my regular old preset. And this is the lead, so I should turn that back on and turn my delay back on. There we go. And then usually I have this, when I save it to scene 3, which I need to switch my scenes over there. And now the buttons turn red, so I know what layout I'm in. And then go to scene 3, which is rhythm. And then I save it there. So now I'm set. So if I wanted to, throw in the harmony, I could. And then what I have assigned to the first pitch block is the whammy pedal. So when I use this pedal over here, and if I go to this lead 2, it's a double octave on the whammy with insane delay. Yeah. So that's a little insight of how easy it is to use the Fractal and to get around. It's really intuitive. It's not hard to use at all, It just takes a little bit of getting used to. Let's see. I shall definitely stay in touch with you personally after I own the Fractal because I don't know how to program it using scenes on the board. Yes, that's fine. I can give you some tips. There's a whole bunch of guys that are also out there that are Fractal pals or beta testers like myself. So one of the guys to definitely check out if you haven't stumbled on him already is Leon Todd. He's great. He has his whole channel is dedicated pretty much to Fractal, and he gets into a lot of programming. But if you have a couple of quick questions, I also do Skype lessons for people, so that they can get in and program, and I give you a couple tips on how to get up and off the ground and get yourself in there. That way you're familiar with it and feel comfortable using the unit. But yeah, it's easy. It really is easy. That is cool. Yes, it is. It is definitely cool. So let's see. I still have a good amount of people hanging, even though it's a little slower tonight. I'm going to do a song, and then I think I'll call it an evening. We're at an hour and 20, so if I play a tune for you all, it'll get us to the hour and a half mark, and that was kind of my plan anyway tonight. So I figured I'd shut it down at 11, so we're creeping up. Oh, so my timer says an hour and 20, but it's actually 10:59. So yeah, I was gonna stop at 11. So maybe I should just quit while I'm ahead and not play. But I said I'd play, so maybe I should just do something here. Let's see. What do we have queued up? What do we have queued up? Anything? Let's see. Yeah, I think we'll save the playing for tomorrow night. That's what we'll do. All right. Well, if anybody has any quick questions about anything, let me know. Otherwise, I'm going to wrap it up since it's 11 o'clock. And I will see you all tomorrow for some more guitar fun for Guitar Month. All right. Well, again, I appreciate everybody hanging out with me. And you guys and gals have a great night. And I'll see you all tomorrow. Be well.